What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Got ourselves a random live going on here, guys. What do you guys want to talk about now? Marco the Great, this is a park here. This is a park here in Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada. Cape Breton Island, coming at you live from Cape Breton Island. Welcome in, Ohio. Welcome in, Ohio. Yeah, bad news from Ohio. We had some bad news from Ohio, isn't that right? Unfortunately.
Show. When I was a teenager, I went to university and studied computer science. At one point, they gave all the students logins to some central Linux computer. It's where you were supposed to do your schoolwork. Like you could use it for file storage or check email there and do programming. Well, when they gave me my username and password, they said my username is my last name and my password is just my first and last name.
Yeah, the random thoughts, Fish and Paul. Yeah, yeah.
If you know another student's full name, you know their username and password and can log in as them.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to indulge in it too much. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
It's a bad password policy. He's like, why? I'm like, because I know everyone's password. He's like, yeah, well, everyone should be changing their
Just
password.
listening to some dark news, Darknet Diaries. Vicky, welcome in, Vicky, welcome in.
Their password. But I knew it was a lost cause. You could pretty much pick any computer science student in the school, and there was a pretty good chance that you could log in as them if you just knew their first and last name. Well, while I was sitting in class one day, the school sysadmin came into the class, and he pointed at me, and he motioned for me to follow him to the hall. So I go into the hall, and he starts telling me someone has broken into our Linux computer and is going around deleting a bunch of student files and data and stuff. Some students lost a ton of work from this. I was like, well, it wasn't me. I don't know anything about that. I've never done that. But this guy was giving me a crooked look. He's like, come on, fess up. I know it was you. I was like, no, it wasn't. Why are you blaming me? What makes you think I did this? He's like, come on, man, I've seen your command history. You're way more active on that computer than anyone else. And the commands you're doing show me that you know way more than any other student, too. So it had to be you.
From Los Angeles, California. It was worse there, actually, but Ohio weather sucks. Oh, okay, yeah. Now, what's Ohio's weather like?
But you have really terrible default passwords, and the students are not changing them. He was like, whatever, dude. Look, if it happens again, you're getting suspended. I started to realize if whoever did that again, I might get kicked out of school for that. And this made me super worried. I was being wrongfully accused. But I was lucky that They either found the guy who did it or he never did it again, because I never
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the follow. Thank you very much for the subscribe. Yeah, today we're just listening to a little bit of Darknet Diaries, Dark Web News. True stories from the Darknet.
I'm Jack Resider.
4 months of brutal winter there.
Is Darknet.
Yeah, our winters are really long here too. It's already starting to get cold. It already cooled off here in Cape Breton Island, to be honest with you guys. It's already started to cool off here in Cape Breton Island, guys. PR Fishing, welcome in, welcome in. We're just here having a live chat. Live chat about some of the breaking news, local news, weather, and just basically anything you guys want to talk about. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking there, PR Fishing. Thanks for asking. Today it's only getting to 18 degrees Celsius here. 18 degrees Celsius here today. And there's brisk wind, so there's a chill wind coming off the ocean as well. So unfortunately, it's a little bit chillier out than not, but hey, we'll take the good with the bad, right? So September in Cape Breton Island usually gets pretty cool pretty quick. And then once October hits, then yeah, it's going to be cold weather. The leaves will be changing. As you can see on the leaves here already, they're starting to slowly change. Fun Mix, welcome in, brother. Welcome in, Fun Mix. Welcome in. Yeah, you see the wind in the flags there. Yeah, it's pretty brisky out. So we're just kind of hunkering down in the Jeep right now. And we'll just have a little bit of a chit chat. You know what I mean? We're on our road to 1,000 subscribers, you guys. On our road to 1K subscribers. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, smash that like button. That helps us out. Double tap that screen. That helps us out as well. And thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Means a lot, you guys. Every follow, every sub, every like, everything helps, you guys. Everything helps. The trails are opened. Fun Mix. The trails are opened again. The burn ban is still in effect. But the trails are open here in Cape Breton Island. So we can go back onto the trails. We did start to get out a little more, and I've been doing a little bit more lives and stuff like that. And yeah, I gotta get out and get a new vlog done somewhere, doing a nice hike or something like that again as well, guys. But as you guys can see, we did the Skyline Trail hike. If you want to check that vlog out on my channel, the world famous Cabot Trail Skyline hike, guys. It's beautiful. How much is gas for you, Liv? Gas is $1.50. $1.50 a liter. $1.50 per liter here for gas. And it fluctuates, guys. It fluctuates, but it stays around $1.55. It was for a bit there, but $1.50 now. Yeah, $1.50 now. But here, 67 cents per liter, around $3 per gallon. Oh, 67 cents per liter. We haven't seen numbers like that in years here in Cape Breton Island, guys. Haven't seen numbers like that in years here. What was the elevator music stream yesterday? Yeah, so we're just basically doing a stream-a-thon. I was on there streaming, doing a bit of a live podcast, talking about the news, talking about the weather, talking about interesting facts and stuff like that. We also started uploading onto Spotify with some podcasts, so you guys will see it there. If you guys listen to podcasts on Spotify, you can search Random Thoughts Indoors podcast. But yeah, you probably just missed out on when I was either taking a break or making a tea or doing some kind of a break in between the live podcast that you saw yesterday. Yeah, we just had some random, I just had some random royalty-free music playing in the background. And yeah, that's basically what I was doing yesterday there. We had a nature cam going for a while, watching the deers coming in and out of the backyard. and the cats and this and that, wildlife around the area. And now we're just doing a little live stream, coming at you live from a park here, Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, Canada. Bringing you guys a live stream. 18 to 20 liters per 100 kilometers. Now my car burns like 10 liters per 100 kilometers. I think it was a break was there for almost 10 minutes and only saw your cat jump up in the window. Yeah, I must have been on a little break there. You know what I mean? A little smoke break type thing, you guys. That's all. But yeah, I was just we were doing some live news coverage and stuff of all the news that was going on, local news and national news as well as we were doing funny facts and yeah, just stuff like that, you guys. We're just doing a bit of a podcast style thing, you know what I mean? A live podcast style thing. I'm just trying to bring some attention to the channel for the new podcast style videos, you guys, where we'll talk about this, that, and the other thing, and just about anything we'll talk about, you guys. We're talking about the Trailer Park Boys and how they have an upcoming season that they're filming, which is really interesting because they haven't done that in a while, so that'll be super interesting to watch, you guys, and listen to. We'll definitely do a reaction video to one of their new episodes when they first come out. Maybe even do some reaction lives with you guys as well. So, yeah, that's what has been going on in the Random Thoughts Indoors and Outdoors studio. Marco the Great, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate the subscribe. I appreciate the like. And I appreciate having you here, brother. And we will see you on the next one. Hope you have a wonderful day. Would be fun if season 3 of Wednesday actually gets some filming in Canada. Oh, now I've heard of this show Wednesday. I haven't watched it though. That's something from the Addams Family or something years ago, right? Now you gotta think years ago, my generation and the Addams Family. That's all I remember Wednesday from. Is that what you're talking about though? That Wednesday show with the girl from the Addams Family, the one that's starting to look funny now. Netflix made a new one. Yeah. So do you guys
2019 is when you got arrested, right?
Yeah, correct. In April 11th.
All right, so let's go back before that. First of all,
listen to this guy, Russian hacker.
Before that.
Okay, so my name is Ola Bini. I'm from Sweden originally, but I've lived in London and Chicago and here in Ecuador, where I'm still located since 2013 when I came to Ecuador.
When did you leave Sweden?
So I left Sweden in 2007 because I was hired
the
by
old
an
Addams Family vibe, yeah,
software
100%.
development company called .works.
I remember watching that as a kid.
For 10 years, and that's how I came to Ecuador originally. I came with the company.
What's your preferred programming language?
That's a hard question since I developed my own programming languages, and of course I like my own programming languages a lot, but I'm pretty old school when it comes to the history of programming languages. So I'm a huge fan of Common Lisp, and I'm still a proud Emacs user, and I have my millions of lines of Emacs Lisp code to customize my experience.
Millions, geez. Are you a big Java fan?
See, that's a funny question because when I got my first job, I started working in Java, and I was very frustrated with Java from a productivity perspective. So I got involved in creating other languages for the JVM. So I first was involved in a Lisp variant called Jeta, and then
super interesting stuff here, guys.
Which is basically a project to create a Ruby implementation that runs on top of the JVM. And I became one of the core developers for JRuby, and that's kind of what I did for the next few years. The idea was basically to use all the good stuff that is in the Java platform without.
So what you're talking about is right here. Let's see. Oh, okay, so you're talking about the Wednesday. It has 2 seasons there. Yeah, with that Jenna Ortega one. Yeah. That's what you're talking about, right? JavaScript is like reading a Minecraft enchantment table. I know, it's so confusing. It's so confusing. I find just one sec, just exiting out some browsers here. I find that cybersecurity and stuff is very interesting. I find it fascinating. Cyber, the whole internet and everything, I find it fascinating. That's why I like to listen to other people's pods as well.
In my opinion, the Java language.
The Java language is
Java always
crazy.
marketed itself as usable on any device or operating system, making it so you can program something once and it'll run anywhere, as opposed to making different apps for different operating systems. However, the language itself is clunky and ugly. So Ola took the beauty he
JavaScript's
saw in the
way
Ruby
back
programming
when.
language and got it to work in Java somehow. It's kind of mind-bending to me that you could code something in Ruby and it'll run anywhere Java can. But this is the kind of audacious project that Ola enjoys working on. He likes to work on huge projects that are pretty obscure and strange. He spent decades as a programmer working for various companies in various countries. And besides having a love for programming, he's also got a burning passion for online privacy.
If you look back in the
Do you guys know all about the Tor network?
GPD, you will find my first GPD key uploaded in 2001 or 2002 or something like that. So privacy was something that I was always interested in. And from my first job, I was involved with cryptography and that kind of stuff. In 2010, WikiLeaks started releasing the diplomatic cables. And so my interest and my activity kind of started coming back in that time. But then I had my regular day job, and I didn't really get super engaged until the beginning of 2013, because that was when, actually, it was an event where a friend of mine named Aaron Swartz, I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so he killed himself in the beginning of January of 2013, and that was a huge blow to me, and it was a huge blow to many people inside of the company because he worked with us. And we started talking about how we wanted to do more from a privacy perspective, from a digital advocacy perspective, and all these things. So in 2013, I kind of started out working on those things, and I started out doing both. And I really was doing both privacy and information security at the same time.
So what was your involvement with WikiLeaks? Did you actually work with them?
No, and that's the thing. Like, I've been.
And did you guys see in the news? Did you guys see in the news that
true. I never worked for WikiLeaks.
Ross Ulbricht, the creator of the Silk Road way back in the day, there, was given a pardon? Now he's like on tour and stuff. That's pretty crazy to think, right? I mean, the sentence that they gave him was undoubtedly crazy. They gave him 40 years plus life sentence plus 10 years for this and 15 years for that. Yeah, okay, so they didn't do very much news coverage or whatever about it. But let me pull up the article here. Ross Ulbricht. Go into the news. And this is back in January that he got the pardon, that Trump gave him the pardon. The spectacular comeback tour of a crypto convict. So yeah, he is free now. He's a free man now. He has his freedom. And yeah, look at this, you guys. I'll show you. He was, he's back at it. He's back at it. See that? Crazy to think. Crazy to think that he's back at it after this long. Considering how much illegal stuff the original Silk Road site did bring on all the side sites that popped up after it, then I'm guessing the news won't be much covered. No, and they didn't do basically really any news coverage of that. I never seen any news coverage about Ross Ulbricht, and I follow that quite a bit because I'm fascinated by the dark web, how it runs, how the dark web runs, how everything operates on the dark web. And I remember the Silk Road days. Like, I can remember that back when I was younger. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that would have been 2013. So yeah, that is was a big thing for me, because was literally a website that was very popular at the time amongst a small group of people that I knew used the Silk Road website. And talking about illegal, I got arrested 2 days ago for the first time. Well, I hope it wasn't for anything serious, and I hope that I hope that it wasn't for anything serious there, Fun Mix Time, and I hope that, it can all get swept under the water under the fridge, as Ricky would say. Water under the fridge, right? As Ricky would say. Yeah. So, yeah. We want to, we want to stay on the right side of the law, you know what I mean? We don't want to be doing anything too crazy, or getting caught for anything too crazy like that, you guys. But yeah, I followed Ross Ulbricht's case, and I thought it was crazy that he was going to spend the rest of his life in jail. And now that he's out, and he's part of the whole crypto world, because you got to remember, there was something like back at that time, I think it was something like $20 million worth of Bitcoin that was what's the word I'm looking for? It was never collected. So they never knew where it ever went. So maybe he still has some of that. Someone from USA used a VPN in 2023 to ping my IP to share some CP. So police had to check my PC and phone. But after a day, I got it back since they found nothing. That's crazy. But was officially arrested for a little over an hour. That is nuts, brother. So somebody used a VPN and it pinged your IP address. Now that's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Yeah, and you know what? Law enforcement are basically out there looking for that kind of stuff on the dark web. That's the main thing that they're looking for on the dark web, you guys. So that's what they want to get off of the dark web, is anything to do with CP or murder for hire or anything like that. That's what they're into on the dark web, you guys. I'm into just browsing and looking and seeing what I can find in the dark corners. And we might have to do maybe a live podcast, a live dark web podcast, and see what we can find on there, because it's super interesting what you can find in the dark corners of the internet that a lot of people don't even know about, right? So, I mean, that's pretty interesting. I don't want to get too into detail about that, but I do want to share a video, just a quick video, if I can find it.
What you're looking at here is a 30-year-old man condemned to die in prison after receiving 2 life sentences without parole for building a website with PHP. Ross Ulbricht is the world's most notorious web developer. He was feared by many as Dread Pirate Roberts on the dark web, and famous for building the Silk Road 1.0, a global marketplace kind of like Amazon, where you can buy and sell goods, with the main difference being that you don't have to follow any laws and you can do it anonymously. Not following the law is a good way to make a lot of money, but you take on the added risk of going to prison, and Ross Ulbricht saw the downside of that risk when the FBI seized the Silk Road in 2013 and put him in jail for life. But despite Donald Trump saying that drug dealers should get the death penalty, he gave Ross Ulbricht a full unconditional pardon yesterday. In today's video, we'll look at the crazy story and interesting technical details behind the Silk Road. It is January 22nd, 2025.
See, this is from January.
Before we get into the Silk Road story, we first need to get one thing perfectly clear.
Drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad, because drugs are bad. though?
Because it followed no laws and did all transactions anonymously through Bitcoin, people used it primarily as a marketplace to trade mind-altering substances. Ulbricht was an advocate for individual liberty and a true enemy
Head
of
to
the
usual
state,
Howie
not only
P20 Pro.
operated
Yeah,
for
well,
profit,
you'll
but
know,
to
I
send
got,
a message. But the website did prohibit items that caused harm, like weapons of mass destruction.
let's
or
just
things
listen
that
to
would
this
harm
article
children.
right quick.
The website launched in February 2011. Then a few months later in June, Gawker published an article about the site, which dramatically increased its traffic, but also drew the attention of law enforcement. Throughout its 2.5 years of operation, over
S22,
100,000 buyers participated.
still going strong.
generating
I got you on the
$183 million in
S20 FE
sales
live.
volume, with 13 million of that being commissions going to Ulbricht, all conducted in this relatively unknown cryptocurrency called Bitcoin, which was valued at about $10 per coin at the time. Things were going great, but there was all kinds of drama going on behind the scenes, and there were even allegations that Dread Pirate Roberts tried to hire hitmen to take care of his enemies, although Ulbricht was
Epstein's
never convicted of
18,000
these alleged
emails.
crimes.
Yeah,
When you look into
they've
it,
been
the story
released.
is very
We'll
complicated.
talk about that in a
and it looks
minute.
more like an FBI informant tried to set him up, and one of the feds on the Silk Road case even went to prison for corruption. The bigger problem is that he was making a bunch of operational security mistakes that allowed law enforcement to find him. To understand these mistakes, you first need to know how to operate an illicit website on the dark web. The Silk Road website itself was nothing special, and
He
is
linked
believed to
his
use the link
real
stack, which
email
includes
back to
PHP
himself
and
by
MySQL,
mistake.
with a web server like Apache running on Linux. Now, normally to host a website, you point a URL to an IP address, but that's not going to work if you want your service to be anonymous and untraceable. And that's where the Tor browser and Onion services come in. The Silk Road could only be viewed in the Tor browser because it
You
was
guys know
hosted
all about
via
the Tor
Onion
browser?
services and only accessible through the Tor network, distinguished by a .onion domain, which provides an overlay network on top of TCP/IP to hide the service's location and provide end-to-end encryption and authentication. Communication between the client and server is broken up between relays in the network, making it virtually impossible to know the identity and location of the client or server. If your website needs this feature, you can easily accomplish this by installing the Tor package on your server, then create a Tor config file that points to your service. Restart Tor, and that'll automatically generate your Onion address. And now you can access your website on the Tor network anonymously. But pretty cool, and Ross would have gotten away with it if he were a little more careful. Like in the early days of the Silk Road, he accidentally used his real name in an online forum post promoting the site. And he even used Stack Overflow just like the rest of us. He also reused the username Altoid, which was eventually tied to his Gmail account. In addition,
See, he tied everything
is a
back to
public
himself
ledger
by
design
mistake.
and only pseudo-anonymous. That's why modern criminals and privacy advocates prefer coins like Monero. But the silliest mistake is that the real IP address for the server was accidentally leaked in the website's CAPTCHA. That led the feds to a server in Reykjavik,
Swaz,
Iceland.
welcome
But
in,
some
welcome in.
developers find this highly sus because there's really no error that could leak an IP address in a CAPTCHA. And the conspiracy theory is that the FBI used some secret high-tech tool that they don't want anybody to know about. But at
That's
this
what
point, they
they're
had enough
saying, that he
evidence
was
and arrested him on
triangulated by
October
some
1st,
secret high-tech
2013
tool
at a
that they
public
were
library
following
in
him.
San Francisco. They distracted him and were able to arrest him without him closing the laptop while he was logged in to the Silk Road's admin panel. And get this, they found a wallet with 144,000 bitcoins on that laptop. At the time, that was only worth a measly $28 million, but at today's prices would be
Swazigoon, thank you very much for the subscribe. Thank you very much. We're on the road to 1K, guys. Road to 1K.
Without the possibility
And we're
of parole.
just
Now, not many people argue that
we're just talking about the whole Ross Ulbricht case right now, the Silk Road, and how he was pirated in there in January, and there was not much news coverage for that. This video is almost over.
And he shouldn't go to prison, but many people argue that his punishment was too harsh. Murderers and violent criminals
Thank you very
often
much.
get
Thank
far
you.
lighter
I appreciate
sentences,
it.
and
I
Trump chose
appreciate
to
it.
pardon him
Double tap
because
that
he
screen.
believes he was unfairly burned at the stake, not for causing harm, but for being a heretic to the deep state. It's a highly controversial pardon, and people have mixed feelings, but one thing's for sure, the Joe Rogan-Ross Ulbricht interview is going to be an absolute banger. This has been the Code Report.
I know,
Thanks
wait for
watching.
that. Joe Rogan and Ross Ulbricht, wait for that. That's going to be quite the thing. So yeah, you guys, you might not have known that, and now he's on tour. He gave a big speech. He gave a big speech at the Freedom and Decentralization Unity at Bitcoin. A great big Bitcoin event. He was basically the headliner at a Bitcoin event, which is crazy to think. Guys. He was in jail basically for life. He was in jail for life, and now he's not. He's out and about, and yeah, he's a big player in the crypto industry again now, guys. So now that's what I was thinking. Remember Fun Mix, how I said there was 20 million back then, back in 2013, it would have been worth 20 million worth of Bitcoin that was never uncovered. So I don't know. Nobody really knows what happened to that Bitcoin. I think he was blaming one of his Silk Road admins for stealing the money. But he didn't, apparently, according to research anyway, he didn't steal it. Knob, I think his name was Knob, they called him, that was his name. And I know a couple detectives stole money and they got jail time for that as well. But there was still, I think it's worth over $100 million today, the money that was never uncovered. So there was lots of money there unclaimed. So I would say he probably had a Bitcoin wallet stashed somewhere with money in it, I would imagine. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if he's still a big player in the crypto world, he would have to have some crypto of some kind, right? Now, when he was doing the Silk Road thing back in 2013 or 2012, whenever it started, 2011, I think, to 2014, I think it ran. But that was Bitcoin, and everyone thought Bitcoin back then was decentralized and anonymity was granted, basically, is what they thought. But now Bitcoin can be traced. Every transaction on the blockchain can be traced now, right? Except for like Monero, which is a lot harder to trace because that's a privacy token. So anybody that uses Monero, that's why. So a lot of the dark websites switch to Monero for that reason, because Bitcoin can be traced now, right? I mean, it's hard to trace, but they can trace it. Welcome back in, Vicky. Welcome back in. Yeah, but money like that doesn't disappear. No, somebody has it. Somebody has it for sure. It's somewhere. I think, like I was reading, I think that's like $100 million or $200 million today. Because when he first bought Bitcoin back in 2011, it was under $1 a coin. So literally pocket change, you could buy a Bitcoin with pocket change. And now it's well over, Bitcoin price today, I think is well over $100,000. Let's see. Let's see what the Bitcoin price is today. Holy cow, guys. Look at this. The market, and this says the market is down. So one Bitcoin is $159,560 Canadian for one Bitcoin. Now, when he bought Bitcoin back in the day, when he was using it, it was like, say, 50 cents a Bitcoin or something. So you can just imagine how much money that would be today. So with the conversion rates, yeah, I think that would be around $200 million. So that's crazy, guys. Where did that money go? We're not quite sure. All right, brother. We'll see you in the next one there, Schwazagoon. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and we appreciate you being here. That was the time people bought pizza and fifth place in tournaments get 300 bit. Yeah, exactly. Swazagoon, we will see you on the next one, brother. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Peace out, brother. Peace out. But yeah, Bitcoin crazy, guys. The price of Bitcoin now is crazy, but like I said, everyone moved over to Monero. So let's see. So one Monero right now is equal to $384.41. And I wonder why the price of Monero has gone up so much. Let's see. Year to date. Oh wow, yeah, so it's taken a little bit of a dive now. It was up in May. Look at this. In May 26th, it was at $567. It took a bit of a drop now, down to $384.65 Canadian for one Monero coin. So that's crazy to think. People thought Bitcoin was a one-to-one exchange back then. Yeah, and it almost was back then. It almost was. For a while, it almost was a one-to-one exchange. But Not anymore. One Bitcoin is going to cost you over 150 grand Canadian for one Bitcoin. So that's wild, you guys. That's a really wild thing to think about. That is really crazy. So another, let's see. From the BBC, let's see here. News, dark web news. Ransomware is a big one, yeah. Oh, this should be interesting. Europe-wide takedown hits longest standing dark web drug market. Let's see what they took down here. So it says, Europe-wide takedown hits longest standing dark web drug market. Law enforcement authorities across Europe have dismantled... Oh, that was the architect market. The most enduring dark web marketplace, following a large-scale operation involving 6 countries, supported by Europol and Eurojust. Between the 11th and 13th of June, a series of coordinated actions took place across Germany, the Netherlands, Romania, Spain, Sweden, targeting the platform's administrator, moderators, key vendors, and technical infrastructure. Around 300 officers were deployed to carry out enforcement actions and secure critical evidence. Architect Market, which is that one right there, you can see. Bitcoin. BTS is Bitcoin. For one Bitcoin, so that's like a nice car for one. Yeah, one Bitcoin would be a nice car, even here in Canada. Yep. So, Architect Market operated as a drug marketplace for over 5 years, amassing more than 600,000 users worldwide, with a total transaction volume of at least 250 million euro. With over 17,000 listings, it is one of the few darknet markets that allowed the sale of fentanyl and other highly potent synthetic opioids, contributing to the growing threat posed by these substances in Europe and beyond. As a result of the action, the platform's infrastructure in the Netherlands was taken offline, and its administrator, a 30-year-old German national, was arrested in Barcelona, Spain. In parallel, measures were taken in Germany and Sweden against one moderator and 6 of the marketplace's highest vendors. An asset worth 7.8 million euros seized. This operation, led by the German authorities, marks the end of a criminal service that enabled anonymous trade in high volumes of illicit drugs, including cocaine, MDMA, amphetamines, and synthetic opioids. The platform's endurance, scale, and reputation within the criminal community place it alongside now defunct darknet markets such as Dream Market and Silk Road, but notorious for their role in facilitating online drug trafficking. Europol's Deputy Executive Director of Operations, Jean-Philippe Lecouf, commented, "With this takedown, law enforcement has taken out one of the dark web's largest running drug markets, cutting off a major supply line for some of the world's most dangerous substances. By dismantling its infrastructure and arresting its key players, we are sending a clear message: there is no safe haven for those who profit from harm." The takedown follows years of intense investigation work to map the platform's technical architecture and identify the individuals behind it. By tracing financial flows, analyzing digital forensic evidence, and working closely with partners on the ground, authorities were able to deliver a decisive blow to one of the most prolific drug markets on the dark web. So there you go. There you go. So they took down Architect Market. I haven't been on the dark web in a while, so I don't really know. A ransomware one. need no cookies on. Dark web profile. Here we go. BQT Lock ransomware. BQT Lock is a new and advanced ransomware as a service that has quickly gained attention for its disruptive operations and unique methods. Emerging from the Middle East and expanding globally, it shows fast technical growth and uses aggressive extortion tactics. The group runs wave-based campaigns, demands payment mainly in Monero, XMR, and blends financial motives with propaganda. This mix of profit and ideology is unusual in ransomware, making BQT Lock a case of special interest for us at the SOC radar as researchers and defenders. This overview scratches the surface. We are publishing a white paper that explores the full scope of BQT Lock's operation in detail. So who is BQT Lock ransomware? This threat group developed ransomware which gave its name to the operation. Its main representative is Karim Fayad, also known online as 0-Day X or 0-Day X1, supported by Fushu, who frequently appears on the adversary's public pages. The group appears to maintain close relationships with pro-Palestine hacktivist groups such as Lewa Muhammad, with mutual activity on social networks. So BQT Lock, that's a new ransomware that's going around, guys. So y'all know about ransomware. It'll take control of your whole computer. It'll encrypt all of your stuff, and basically they'll want you to pay some sort of a ransom to get all your information back, or they're going to post all your stuff online to forums and blogs and stuff and put it all out there. All right, Fun Mix, we'll catch you in the next one, brother. Danny, welcome in. Yeah, we're just chatting right now, doing a little live chat about the dark web news and what's happening on the dark web today, because I find that very fascinating and very interesting. Dark web stories, dark web news, it's just fascinating. Let's see from the Digital Journal here. Why security teams are turning to the dark web to protect executives. Let's see. Executives are the prime targets for cyber attacks. However, cybercrime is not the only threat lurking in the internet shadows for high-profile leaders. The dark web has become a hub for bad actors who are seeking to steal corporate leaders' credentials for access to sensitive data and laying the groundwork for more sophisticated cyber attacks or even plotting assaults that threaten executives' physical safety. The majority of recently surveyed U.S. executives revealed that cyber criminals have targeted them. Security teams are shifting their perspective on executive safety. A study by GetApp found that 72% of surveyed U.S. executives have been targeted by cyber criminals at least once. Additionally, 69% of employees who work in companies that experienced previous attacks targeting leaders claim that cyber attacks against executives have increased. According to Vakaris Norika, a cybersecurity expert at Nordsteller, targeted cyber attacks, personally identifiable information leaks, and even the possibility of physical assaults are some dangers lurking for executives on the dark web. Norika observes that executive protection has become an even more relevant topic over the last few years. High-profile cases such as the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson have fulfilled existing concerns over executive safety, both online and offline. So you guys, they're using the dark web multiple ways. They're using the dark web multiple ways here to gain information on you. And yeah, if you're an executive of a company or something like that. We are coming at you live from Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, Canada. Coming at you live from Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, Canada. Russell, welcome in. Russell, welcome in. Sahil, welcome in. Welcome in, Sahil. Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, Canada. We're coming at you live, Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, Canada. With a bit of news, morning news for you guys today, afternoon news, dark web news, and basically whatever news we find interesting. I find the dark web fascinating and very interesting, so I try to bring you guys a little bit of news and a little bit of coverage on that. There will be a new podcast coming out live very soon about the dark web and just different things you can find on the dark web. I find it fascinating, just how it works through the Tor network and everything like that. It's pretty darn interesting. So let's see. Let's see what else we can talk about here. So, I guess for all of you that may not know, if you're just tuning in here to the Random Thoughts Outdoors podcast, because we're outdoors today. We're doing a live podcast outdoors today. So what is the dark web, how it works, and how to stay safe? It's easy to think of the dark web as the black market of the internet, a secret corner where hackers gather, leaked personal data floats around, and pirated downloads of every kind are up for grabs. But the truth is, that's only one dark part of the story. To fully understand what the dark web is, and whether there's any reason for you to go there, we'll break down the different layers of the internet and how they relate to one another. We'll also dig into common questions like how to access the dark web and whether or not it's safe. We'll also share some tips for protecting your personal data if you decide to explore it. So what is the dark web? The dark web is a hidden part of the internet that isn't indexed by search engines like Google and Bing, meaning you won't find links to the dark websites in mainstream search engine results. Instead, it uses its own search engine, which we'll get to later. To visit the dark web, you need a special software, most commonly the Tor browser, which routes your internet traffic through multiple servers to make your identity and location, to mask your identity and location. The same technology also protects the websites themselves, keeping operators and visitors anonymous. This level of privacy serves different purposes for different people. Activists, journalists, and privacy advocates may use it to communicate safely and avoid censorship, while others may abuse it for illegal activities like selling drugs or stolen data. So that's interesting. How and why the dark web was created. The dark web, as we know it, grew out of technology originally created by the U.S. Navy. In the mid-90s, the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory developed a project called Tor, the Onion Router. Its original purpose was to let government agents and descendants communicate secretly without giving away their identities or locations. But for anonymity to really work, Tor needed lots of people using it, not just spies and their handlers. That's why the technology was released to the public as open source software. Once Tor became widely available, people began using it to host websites, giving rise to what we know now as the dark web. Understanding the layers of the web: the surface web, deep web, and dark web. All right. So the dark web is just one of the three main layers of the internet. Each one has different purposes and functions in its own unique way. So the surface web is the standard internet you use daily on your phone, computer, smart TV, and other devices. It's where you check your emails, read the latest sports and news, search Google, play games, stream Netflix. The surface web is public and searchable. The deep web. This is a layer that contains all online content that isn't crawled or indexed by search engines. Things like content behind paywalls, email messages, cloud storage, bank accounts, medical records, and private company databases are all part of the deep web. The amount of data on the deep web far surpasses what's on the surface web, but because of the private nature of this data, it's kept hidden. So it's kept hidden in servers and stuff, guys. You won't be able to see it. So the dark web is a small part of the deep web. Dark websites don't use familiar domains like .com or .org. Instead, they use .onion addresses, which you can't just open in Chrome, Edge, Safari, or any other standard browser. That's why you can't find dark web links in search engines and need a special browser to find them. While the dark web is often linked with illegal marketplaces and cybercrime, it also includes legitimate uses like secure communication tools for journalists, whistleblowers, and people living under censorship. How the dark web works. Dark web uses onion addresses, which only work within the Tor network, short for the onion router. Tor is an entire network, not just a browser, of volunteer-run servers known as nodes or relays that work together to hide online activity. When you use the Tor browser to visit a dark website, your data doesn't take a direct path. Instead, it's wrapped in several layers of encryption and sent through a chain of at least 3 relays. Here's a simplified version of the chain events. You get your entry node. The first server can see your IP address but doesn't know where your data is hidden. It simply forwards it to the middle node. The middle node, this server passes the encrypted data along without knowing where it originated from or where it's ultimately going. It forwards the data to the exit node. The third node is the final server, decrypts the last layer of encryption and sends your data to its destination. It can only see that it came from the middle node. The advantage of the layer design is that no single node ever knows the full picture. It's like mailing a package inside several boxes, each with its own destination. Each relay opens only the outermost box and forwards the next one, never seeing the entire path. So that's pretty crazy, guys. That's pretty crazy. That's some dark web stuff for you right there. So that is nuts, guys. That is nuts. So what type of content is available on the dark web? If you think the dark web is mainly a hub for shady activity, you may be surprised. In fact, plenty of completely legal content exists there. Much of it centered around privacy, free expression, and information sharing. Here are some common examples. Marketplaces. Dark web marketplaces operate like underground versions of eBay or Amazon. They host a wide range of listings from digital products like ebooks and software to niche collectibles and privacy-focused services you may struggle to find on the surface web. Most transactions on these sites use cryptocurrencies, which add another layer of anonymity for all parties. There's forums and social networks. Just like surface web, the dark web hosts forums and social platforms where people connect anonymously. The focus of these communities tends to be on tech subjects such as coding, gaming, cybersecurity, and online privacy, but you'll also find discussions on conspiracy theories, politics, philosophy, and a range of other topics. Whistleblower platforms and news outlets. For journalists and activists, the dark web serves as a vital tool for safety exchanging sensitive information. Platforms like SecureDrop and Global Leaks give whistleblowers a way to share documents without revealing their identity. Email services. Several secure email providers, such as RiseUp and Mailbox.org, provide onion sites for users who want to add an extra layer of privacy and anonymity to email communications. Nonprofits and advocacy organizations. So how to access the dark web safely. Accessing the dark web is easy. You just need the Tor browser, which connects to the Tor network where .onion websites live. However, you should be very careful where you go and what you do there. To help you out, we'll give you some safety tips as well. So you're going to want to turn on a VPN. Although a VPN isn't required, it's an important layer of protection on the dark web. A VPN masks your IP address from potentially malicious Tor entry nodes and helps safeguard your data on shared unsecured networks, such as public Wi-Fi. It also prevents anyone else on your network, like a hacker or cyber snooper, from seeing what you're doing. You got to download the Tor browser. Only download Tor from the official site, torproject.org. It is available for Windows, Mac, Linux, and even Android. On iOS, you'll have to use the Onion browser, which is a decent alternative. It encrypts your data just like Tor, but not as private. Downloading a fake version can open you up to serious cyber attacks. Open Tor and connect. So there you go. So there you go, guys. That's just a little bit of information on the dark web. See what my, oh, we still got some battery life left. Not bad, not bad. So what's up, guys? What's up? What do you guys want to talk about now on the Random Thoughts Outdoors podcast? Because we're outdoors today. We're not indoors today. What do you guys want to talk about? Drop it in the comments below. What's some more news that we could talk about, guys? I'm gonna do a crazy one for you right now. Let's do a crazy one for you guys right now. Let's see if we can access the Tor network. What do you guys think? Fun mix time. What's going on? Welcome back in. Welcome back in. We are just doing a live. We're just gonna do a bit of a live look. I got, if you can see that, the Tor browser here is updating. A sausage mix, fries, hot dog sausages, ketchup and salt. That sounds good. That sounds good. A little smorgasbord, we call that. Smorgasbord, we call that. We're going to see if we can do some live Tor network browsing, you guys. You guys interested in that? See what we can find on... See what we can find... See what we can find on the Tor network, guys. Kind of crazy that we'll even go to them corners, but like I said, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it on my main device. Don't access it through an iPhone or anything like that, guys. You want to use the actual Tor browser. Ross Ultbridge? Oh my God, imagine interviewing Ross. I would say he's going to be on the Joe Rogan podcast. You watch. He'll be on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they'll be asking him all kinds of crazy questions. And we'll see what he says. Like, I would really like to know about... I would really like to know about the whole... the FBI agents and stuff. Did they actually steal the money? That whole murder for hire thing, was that actually true? Some are saying it wasn't even true at all. Alright, says connect to Tor. Tor browser routes your traffic over the Tor network run by thousands of volunteers around the world. Alright, now let's configure connection. Let's see. Yeah, that all looks good. Let's connect. Yeah, like I said, I'm not using my... Oh, we're connected. Pierre, welcome in, Pierre. Welcome in, Pierre. Welcome in. Now let's see. I'm gonna get you guys in a bit of a different angle here, so that way you guys can see what I'm doing. What I'm doing on the Tor network here, real time. What's going on, Pierre? What's going on? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I would not connect to it with shared Wi-Fi, since I'm guessing. So, I already got that thought of. Look what we got going on here. So, I am on basically a burner device right here. Just one of my old devices. I'm connected to a public Wi-Fi right now. I'm not on my own Wi-Fi. So let's see what we can find. Let's find the classic AHEEM search browser. So you guys, as you can see, we're gonna go to and just so that way you can see what I'm doing, I'm gonna show you guys right here. I'm gonna show you guys. No, well, wife's old phone from like years ago. It was already factory reset and everything, so don't worry, guys. This is all gonna be safe. And I got you guys live on another old device that we have. We have a few old devices. We upgrade, we save them. You know what I mean? I use them for this kind of stuff. But look, guys, we are now connected. We're now connected to AHEEM. So let's see what we can find on here, guys. Let's see what we can find on here. What was the name? What was the name of that? Oh, there was a good forum on there. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. It's been a few years since I've been on the dark web and searching stuff like that. This was an S22, and I got you guys streaming on an S20 FE. So I also use iPhone. I use both. So if you're wondering, I use both, you guys. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to remember. Trying to remember the name of the forum that was on there. Ramses, yeah, this same thing. The S26 Ultra. I know I'm gonna have to get myself another Ultra for filming, guys, because they do film really good quality. Really good quality. Do you guys know the name of the forums on there? It was we'll figure it out here. We'll figure it out. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. I know. I know what it is. This one here. Tour taxi. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Dread. Dread. Lower end Sony cams, they'll almost always give you better results than a phone at a fraction of the price. I mean, if that's your cup of tea, of course. Yeah, I do have to get something. The DJI cams and mics are always good for streaming. Yep. Yeah, the DJI are good. Even the drones and stuff, they're sick, eh? They give sick... So here's what we come to, look. Click anywhere to enter. Let's see. Here we go, look. Oh. You guys ever see that before? It's like Reddit for the dark web. Oh, the Rode mics. Yeah, I got to get some good streaming gear, hopefully, in the next bit. Like, look at these, the... We're live here on the dark web, look. You've never seen this before? So this is like Reddit. This is like Reddit, but for the dark web. So it's a decentralized and anonymous form. Oh, that's sick. They got Bluetooth built in. Nice. That's awesome. I gotta get stuff like that, eh? So there's lots of different topics and stuff being going on here. Look. True. What are they talking about on this site? So right now it's saying my Tor browser is sending data to securedrops.org on startup. Did I get hacked or is this normal? I'm running Cubes OS and using Tor browser in the disposable cube. A while back I found this monitoring tool called Tor Circuits in the Tor control panel and decided to check it out. I found a weird coincidence. Every time I opened a disposable Tor browser, it connects to securedrop.org ..4443. Also on every system Unix startup, I connect to 3 random onion sites for a few seconds. Securedrop.org 443. That's so-called whistleblower submission system used by many media outlets. Tor browser includes onion site bookmarks for SecureDrop by default, which might cause the connection to it. Okay, so it's nothing. Okay. So we're on random Tor right there. We're on a random Tor network right there. I gotta look for one more thing here, guys. So what do you guys think about the whole dark web and everything, huh? Just give me 1 second. I'm just looking at something here that Crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I know. There's lots of crazy people on the dark web. It's so basically, as long as you're proactive with your OPSEC, your operational security, and you don't tie anything back to yourself, and if you're just browsing and very careful what you're clicking on in there, don't click on random stuff, you'll be all right. If you're just browsing, you should be all right. I'm wondering if the dark web is as big as the diagram says, like all Google and every site, you know, and stuff are like 10 to 15% of the web. Yeah. And then the other bit is like, it's like an iceberg. The tip of it is the surface web, and then that little middle section starting to go into the water would be the deep web, where like everything that's encrypted and stuff is saved. And then you got the dark web at the very bottom of the iceberg, the bottom piece of it, and that's where, well, I mean, there's so much stuff. It's unindexed, so nobody really knows, but yeah, there's lots of stuff on there. It is crazy to think, guys. So I'll show you guys. Let's see what else people are talking about on here. Oh my. Like, look at these questions. Yeah, you gotta be very careful. And look, I'm on here on a burner device too, guys. So, let's try something else here. This is the same type of thing that... Let's not click on random things. That's a random thought. Yeah. Oh my. Let's go back to our Tor browser here for a sec. We're gonna try a different dark web. Now, as you notice, it takes a while to load. So Tor is notoriously slow. Let's not go clicking on any random links now. We're trying another tour site. Oh, did it? Maybe they put that in as a little Easter egg. Well, that website's not working. Yeah, sometimes you get that. Some of these onion sites are dead now. See? Page not found. Seth, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, we've been on a bit of a streamathon, trying to get to that 1K subscribers, guys. That's what we're trying to do. Now we're exploring the dark web together. I don't know what this is going to show, so just give me 1 sec, guys. Oh, so this website is like Facebook for Tor. It's like Facebook, except it's called Pitch. Remember when the CIA recommended using Signal? That was fun. Signal just launched paid backups designed by Facebook's former surveillance architect. The same company that stored desktop keys in plain text for 6 years. Now wants $1.99 a month. To store your messages on their service. Signal. So Signal just rolled out centralized backups, and the guy who announced it has quite a resume. Jim O'Leary, Signal's VP of Engineering since 2019, spent the previous 8 years building surveillance infrastructures at Twitter and Facebook. At Twitter, from 2011 to 2015, O'Leary built behavioral anomaly detection systems, essentially surveillance to track and flag unusual user activity. Perfect timing for the Arab Spring when governments desperately needed to track protesters. Then he went straight to Facebook during their worst privacy scandals from 2015 to 2019, managing security teams with multi-million-dollar budgets and running their privacy IMOCs, the damage control teams that handled Cambridge and Analytica, the Unaveo VPN spying operation that Apple banned, and the $5 billion fine. This is the same guy who helped Facebook eliminate competing by absorbing WhatsApp and Instagram into their surveillance machines. When Facebook bought WhatsApp for $19 billion, O'Leary was there ensuring they could properly surveil those 2 billion new users. He literally managed the fake privacy tool Nova VPN that secretly spied on teenagers to track competing apps. Now he's implementing Signal's new backup system that stores your entire message history on their servers, protected by a single key you're supposed to write down somewhere. No local backup option, just centralized storage with paid tiers, creating financial records through payment processors. Signal knew their desktop encryption keys were stored in plain text for 6 years and only fixed it after public outrage. Commercial forensic tools routinely decrypt Signal databases from seized devices, yet instead of fixing these fundamental security issues, they're building centralized repositories of users' communications under the guidance of Facebook's former surveillance architect. Well, there you go. How far am I on watch hours? I think from the 3,000, I'm like 1,000 away from the 3,000 watch hours. I'm like 1,000 away. Pitch, yeah, they could have used Dark Book, yeah. Do you ever, is this new to you guys? Have you guys ever seen anything like this? Anything like that? Literally like a dark web Facebook. Login issues have been fixed. New updates. Virtual machines provide a way to run multiple systems in an isolated manner. This allows you to not only boost security, but to also boost flexibility by removing the barriers of X program doesn't work on XOS, because now you can have every OS, such barriers do not exist anymore. You can also use a virtual machine to test potentially destructive actions to avoid destroying your main system. And virtual machine snapshots allow you to restore a virtual machine after you have tested these actions. That's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, TOR, so the onion router is what it stands for, Tor, the onion router. That's what it stands for. You get my message about Salmon River? No, I never did. Prime time for some monsters up there. Up in Salmon River. Do, remind me where that's at exactly now. Salmon River. In Cape Breton here? Oh, the Port of Ontario. Yes, I bet you will get some monsters up there for sure. So this, I'm going to give you guys world famous salmon run. Yeah, I've heard of that. That's crazy. So this is what we're talking about right now. Pitch. We're talking about pitch on the dark web. It's an onion. This is pitch. It's a Twitter/X style of site where you can find a lot of threat actors on the dark web and even more information. Onion is in the subpost. This is crazy. I'm reading some crazy stuff on here. Salmon fishing. Yeah, that would be good. I'm just scrolling through random posts on pitch here, guys. This is crazy stuff I'm reading on here, guys. Crazy stuff. See how long it takes to load? Maybe I shouldn't have clicked that. Look what we're into now, a tour chat. A tour chat. What can we get up? It's basically like Facebook or X without the censorship. So they're talking to like a lot of political stuff and a lot of illegal activity style stuff. You know what I'm saying? So look at this, Tor chat, anonymous chat for Tor users. Important. Your username will only be stored during this session. No registration required and no personal information is stored. Tor chat features no JavaScript required, compatible with Tor browser, messages deleted after 24 hours, multiple chat rooms, completely anonymous. What do you guys think? Should we dive into this? Should we dive into this for a few minutes before we end the live here today? What do you guys think? You want to see oh, you know what would be crazy? If I put Ross Ulbrich's old username as the username. Dread Pirate Roberts. Oh, look at this, guys. I'm in. Tommy, we're surfing. We're surfing the dark web. I don't know why. This is random. So let's see. No, let's see what they're saying here right away. Does anyone on this chat have suggestions of any markets not exploited by Dread? This is crazy. Dark web, yeah, we're in the dark web. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Now look, I just said hi. Oh, you heard that? You heard that? Oh, I should have been cornholio. We're on the dark web, guys. We're on the dark web. We're surfing the dark web here. Seeing if anybody's on here. This is crazy. So it's crazy to think that in We're on to dark web chat room, guys. We're on to a dark web chat room. And I put my username as Dread Pirate. just like Ross Altbridge, remember? Nobody's talking back though. So this is pretty cool. This is like a decentralized chat that you can do. Yeah, someone would probably answer, right? It's saying that there's a couple people online. I don't know how they really know, but like I said, nobody's talking. Nobody's on here. Maybe it's some 24/7 bot or something. I don't know. I thought they would like that name, Dread Pirate. But nobody's, yeah, I'm not hearing nothing. Crazy, guys. This is crazy. I don't, it's not updating. I know there are other crazy Tor and dark web chats that we can check out, but that might be a home podcast style thing, I would think. So I'll have to come back and check it out, maybe at home. Nobody's answering. So that was just one thing I found on Pitch. So let's go back. Yeah, there's definitely some other sites that are definitely very similar to that. So let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing, trying to find another one. Brave browser handles 94 million users monthly with zero dependency on Google or Microsoft servers. And big tech should be terrified of what this proves. Oh, wow. That's the browser I use. Adult dating sites. I think it goes beyond adult dating sites. I think it goes a little bit beyond dating sites in general on there. You can access any website through Tor, but like again I said, it's very slow, so there's not really much point of doing that. But there are definitely, I think people would be wary of using it for that type of stuff, but you can get basically anything you can think of on the dark web, guys. So let's just see here. Tor.li, what is that? So we're going to check that out. Simple and anonymous link directory for the Tor network. Oh. Tor.li. So we have forums such as Pitch, Dread, Cloak. Oh, I'm not sure what Cloak is. Yeah, it wouldn't be too anonymous. No, not for dating. No, so. Oh, Breaking Bad, I remember that one. So the Breaking Bad site, that's all about chemical, what do you call it again? Chemistry. It's all about chemistry and stuff, that website. I'm not familiar with is this one. Oh, it looks like they booted me off the internet. Maybe they seen that I was connected to Tor. Uh-oh. Let's see what's going on there. They booted me off. They booted me off, guys. They booted me off. I got connected again here. I'm trying a different website here called Cloak. Not sure what that is. I'm trying another one here. Cloak. Your estimated wait time is 3 minutes. Oh, great. Oh man, these captchas. Oh, they make these captchas almost impossible to guess. I can't get it. I think we got her now. Oh my, what are we on here? Look. And we're on Cloak. Whatever that is. It doesn't seem like it's very busy. No posts the last 24 hours. Nothing. So I wouldn't say that one's used too much. There's not too much on there at all. Yeah, the captcha one. There's another one. There's another one that uses your clipboard. So anytime you put anything in your clipboard, they can get all the information from the clipboard. So Sam Bent, this guy here, Sam Bent, he is a dark web enthusiast. I'm going to close out my Tor browser and everything, and we'll kill the Wi-Fi from this. Shut that down. And we should be safe, guys. So there we go. That was some random dark web surfing, dark web news. So lots of stuff there, you guys, to get involved with. Really crazy, really crazy. Yeah, so the dark web is so fast. It's such a... I mean, I get it for the point of censorship and for countries and stuff that can't use the internet properly like they should be able to use it. You can use Tor to bypass all your restrictions and stuff like that, you guys. And also, you guys, don't forget to use your VPNs. When you're doing stuff like that, use a burner device if you're going to do anything on the dark web. And everything here today was strictly for entertainment and educational purposes. So I will do another live podcast exploring the dark web and the dark corners of the dark web and stuff like that. So we will get into another live podcast with that as well. So you guys, like I always say, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, leave the notifications on because I go live randomly. There is no schedule to when I do my lives. I have some podcasts up if you guys like to listen to podcasts. We're on Spotify as well. Random Thoughts Indoors podcast on Spotify. Also on YouTube, I put everything that we're talking about up on the screen onto the podcast, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can get a little view, a little sight of what I'm talking about and whatnot. And yeah, you guys. So that's basically going to be my episode for today. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching today, for joining the live, and being part of the live, I should say. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. I gotta go use the washroom here before I get the wife. Yeah, fun mix. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, you guys. See you in the next live, guys. Peace out.